Hello all, and welcome to our final lecture in week 8, the conclusion of our class, Our World Today. And clearly, as we've moved into the late 20th century, we've seen some political changes. There's some political swings I want to talk about. Two liberal administrations preceded and followed by a conservative administration, Clinton, George W. Bush, and then Obama. Clinton's campaign against George Bush actually directly addressed social welfare issues. He was the sixth-term governor of Arkansas, implemented successful welfare-to-work programs, agreed with President Bush that welfare system needed to be fixed, but they disagreed on what should be done to fix the system. He signed the Family Leave Act, which gave 3 months of paid leave. Bush had vetoed the 6-month version. Planned to revamp national health care, guarantee quality medical treatment for all Americans, included 37 million citizens without any insurance. Initial enthusiasm dwindled, and heavy industry, physician, and insurance mounted aggressive campaign against it, similar to efforts in 1935. Welfare. I was responding to a shift in thinking from a belief that poverty was the result of social and economic conditions over which the poor had little or no control of, a shortage of adequate jobs, lack of child care facilities, poor education, ill health, and racism, to blaming the poor and public welfare programs for the country's problems. And as you know, we've seen these shifts in thinking that we've gone back and forth. It allowed states to terminate AFDC payments to women who had additional children while on welfare. In 1996, Personal Responsibility and Work Opportunity Reconciliation Act, it reversed 6 decades of federal social policy that guaranteed a minimum level of financial assistance or safety net for the destitute and dependent citizens. It ended AFDC, replaced it with grants to states that could determine the rules of eligibility. Temporary assistance for needy families, which is TANF, ended all welfare after 2 years, whether they had found jobs or not. Lifetime assistance of 5 years did not require states to include educational and training opportunities to welfare recipients to ensure they could get jobs to move out of poverty. And the impact of PRWORA. It did reduce the AFDC caseload in 1996, 12.5 million individuals. In 2004, fewer than 5 million. Evidence of getting off welfare rolls, but not evidence that people's economic status has improved. So I just want to make it clear that while we're saying there's a reduction in people, but that's the same thing as saying these people are now successful on their own without assistance. Obama National Health Care Insurance Plan, uninsured 1987, there were 31 million people uninsured. In 1994, there were 40 million people uninsured. In 2007 to 2009 recession, 50 million people uninsured, and that's 17% of the population. There was still strong opposition, which was led by the medical industry. The economy, significant growth in the 1990s, recession of 2007-2009. Unemployment went from 5.3% in 1998 to 10.1% in 2009. Sweeping foreclosure of homes, 11.3% of the population was below the poverty line in 2000, 14.3% in 2009. Greater risk to children, African Americans, Hispanics, and female head of households. 1998, 2.8 million American workers full-time, but remain below the poverty line. And what that means is a large percentage of working poor. Families in the 1990s, two-parent households increased after a 20-year decline. Divorce rates declined. Births to unmarried mothers continued to increase, but at a slower rate. Women's labor force participation continued to increase. Rising life expectancy and falling fertility rates equals an aging population. Immigration by 2000, use no longer delineated, as black and white. Latin Americans and Asian Americans made up sizable populations. Demographics: in 1980, 80% of Americans were white. In 1995, 74% of Americans were white. In 2010, 72.4% of Americans were white, and by 2050, they expect 50% of Americans to be white. States limiting the use of hospitals, schools, and public assistance to immigrants. Is there enough scrutiny to distinguish between documented and undocumented immigrants? Charged hospital personnel, teachers, social workers with identifying ineligible individuals. No federal solution for dealing with 14 million undocumented immigrants. Oh, excuse me. Okay, and we have a shift back to private agencies and volunteerism. Voluntary organizations encouraged to care for homeless people or stock food shelters. Religious congregations can get public funds to help assist the poor. Low-income parents can use public vouchers for private or public education. Private contractors receive public funds to serve Hurricane Katrina victims, although the support did not always reach the needy. This happened in food, housing, social services, and transportation. Third-party reimbursements expanded. Child care, nursing homes, residential treatment facilities, hospitals, profit centers, data and analysis, research and evaluation, not necessarily the social workers at the beginning of the 20th century. Urged child welfare, 1997, the Adoption and Safe Family Acts. Pressure on child welfare agencies to find permanent homes for children removed from homes because of abuse or neglect. Not initiatives to support parents. 19th century child savers / child rescuers. Efforts to privatize Social Security have not been successful. Okay, so conclusion, changes in technology and restructured economics are as dramatic for Americans now as industrial and economic changes were at the end of the 19th century. Public policy is going to be challenged to keep up with demographic, economic, and social changes of the 21st century. And one thing that I'm going to say is that, well, two things I'm going to say is, one, I think we're going to continue to see this swing back and forth between whether it's a public duty or a private duty to help people who are in poverty or unable to maintain a lifestyle above the poverty line. And two, I think that part of the reason is because that public policy is going to continue to be challenged is because we are reacting rather than proactively trying to deal with things before they come up. So this is my references this week. Thank you guys for the last 8 weeks. I've really enjoyed talking to you through these little video lectures. I hope that you enjoyed them too, and you guys have a great term.